pretty sure he can just pop the yellow naturally into the middle that's next to the 8 ball, but if not, then may need a bit of work. He's just having a look at it now. Yeah, he's settled with it, he's happy with it.
Showed good patience in this frame as Tom gets his opportunity and makes it look fairly simple. Wow!
He must have just... Did he just clip the red?
That could be huge for Cohen. I don't think it will affect Tom. He knows he should be 2-0 up here, but this is what an opportunity here for Cohen. Just to get a frame on the board here and get going. Let's have another look. Does he just catch the red with his tip?
Look how close he is, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually with the cue.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is golden for Cohen. He's got to take this out now.
Yeah. Well, having said at the beginning of the frame that he's not going to get any gifts from Tom Cousins and he's going to have to go out there and earn everything he gets in this match, he has been given a huge gift.
He's just underdone this a little bit. He wants to be right behind this. The further away you are from him, this is actually quite an awkward pot.
Yeah, you look at the overhead, it looks a lot trickier than it does on the main
very good.
Main camera.
Very, very good.
I think the tournament is set.
Ooh.
This is, I'll come back to your point because we talk about Tom and his power cup break. That's the problem when you try and hit the cup break so hard, the cue ball can fly off the table.
I think he actually, you see he's using a break cue there, obviously it's got the thicker tip on it. Sometimes if you just dip very slightly as you're going through the ball, you give the white ball a bit of lift. When you hit that second ball, especially because you're cutting onto it, it causes it to jump, and I think that's exactly what's just happened there to Cohen.
Yeah, when you're cueing for the break, you're always cueing off the cushion, and that means you're digging down on the ball, and you're absolutely right, get that little bit too low, too much power, that cue catch the pack on a hop, you can get it off the table quite easily. So, coming back to your point, I think this tournament is set for somebody that's at the top end of the game to win it. Now that we've increased the races to 13, you know, we're going to get deeper as we go. I think the finals are best of 29. No one's going to... I think we will see the cream really rise to the top. And we normally do see the cream rise to the top, but for me, I think it would be a major surprise to not see one of the top 10 players go on and win this tournament. I don't think this is one for somebody to jump out of the pack.
I do agree to a degree. I think it is obviously going to be one of the top pros, but I think there's a couple in there that definitely could go deep that maybe aren't in and around the top 10. Maybe they're kind of in their the 20s and 30s in the rankings. Someone like Chris Day really shouts out to me at the moment. I think Chris has had a really solid year, and I think somebody that's got that level of consistency has definitely got the opportunity to go deep in a longer event. But once again, yeah, Tom's well and truly in here. He played a good cannon at the start just to open up one of the awkward yellows in the middle.
He's got a bad angle here though. He wanted to be the other side of straight on the, to be able to get onto the yellow into right centre.
Or being hampered doesn't help. This is now very tricky.
Yeah, and he has to get the good angle to come down and get on the yellow above the 8 ball to then get on the 8 ball. So just a little bit of work at the back end here.
A little bit close to the cushion. I think he's okay, but
I don't think this is a natural shot. He's going to have to force this.
oh, he's done really well.
Fully recovered the situation. Simple 8 ball for a 3-1 lead. Might still be slightly irritated it's not 4-0, but the response to making a really poor error was just back-to-back finishes from the rate. Tom Cousins 3-1 in front. Long way to go.
Yeah. He's changed his mind. Oh, he's pot. Well, I mean, what a miscue that is.
How can you miscue and still go in?
I mean, that's unbelievable. Obviously, the time clock just caught him out a little bit there, but yeah, that was a total miss hit. The red's still gone right in the centre of the pocket. I mean, what can you do? But I mean, now he's got a double, and it's a tough double. Cut back into the bottom left. He's gone for it, but he's missed it. So now this is an opportunity for Cohen, and a good one as well, because that yellow does drop into that left-hand middle pocket. He's just got to get the first shot right. He's got a bit more angle on this than he would have liked for this yellow. Just drop it in, give yourself an area, and from there he can go. Very good. I wouldn't blame him getting one of the ones of the two in the middle out of the way. Yeah, I like that. Play down for the one at the bottom. Doesn't want to be too straight though. Yeah, if he lands anywhere near the middle of the table here, he should get out. Oh, you didn't need to use two cushions, Cohen. That felt a bit unnecessary. Okay, he's still okay, but he's now got to pull out a shot. He got it? Yeah, he has. Very nice. And now he's just got to wait one good one here. And short. Now he's going to have to play a very good shot off of a couple of cushions. Is he looking middle and then going 3 cushions? This is tough. No. Yes.
Oh, you nearly got your commentator's eye wrong there.
It didn't look like it was going to drop.
Big 8 ball coming up here.
Yeah, I'm very surprised at how he played it. He's just trying to kind of hold the white ball. I think he put the wrong side on it, but this is good cueing required. Oh, brilliant.
Beautiful cueing from the young man. You could see there, that was such a good angle to see his technique. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, that's the good thing about format and kind of session pool. I'll in off from Tom there. But that example actually might even come to fruition here. Say, for example, Cohen rushes through, wins this frame, goes 8-3. He might think, well, actually, I don't want to give Tom time to reset. I want him to kind of think about what he's just done and quickly sneak in another frame.
But if he was playing, exactly that, because he's got the next break, get that extra frame in. If he was able to make the reverse here, and then he has the next break, and you could go reverse finish, break finish to end the session. All of a sudden, 8-4. Yes, he's still massive second favourite, but it carries momentum into the next session.
Well, I mean, Tom's mentality would be, obviously, if it finished 8-2 and there was not another frame finished here, then obviously in that circumstance, then he's going to walk away happy. He's going to be in complete control. If it goes 8-4, he's going to be walking away going, how have I not killed this off?
Yeah.
And for Cohen, on the flip side of that, he's going to think, well, I've dished a couple here. Why can't I dish a couple more when I come out? And it's just a complete mentality change. Cohen's got a job to do here. He's got these yellows exactly where he wants them.
Slightly hampered queuing. I thought he'd take the other one here.
I did, but he's
played that well.
Is he hampered? I think he is.
Yeah, I thought he'd take the other one, and the one he's looking at now, I thought he'd then be playing bottom left corner. I guess it was slightly too much angle both ways.
He's done very well there just to kill that.
Yeah.
Kill that white. Now he's just got to make sure he cues this nicely. Just make sure that white goes through.
Bit stabby, that one.
Yeah.
He's still okay. I mean, the 8-ball's over the middle pocket and it plays big with the red where it is, so he's no real issues here. Just, that's it. Make sure you don't hit the red at the top of the table here. Make sure this doesn't slide on you and yeah, it just misses it. He's okay.
Yeah, this is exactly what Cohen needed. And he's quick killed it as well. So very, very good. So is he going to try and put a bit of juice on this and see? He is. Oh, that's a great break. He's flushed it. How's the layout?
It's good. He needs an opener. He needs an opener on the reds. Does he have one? I don't think he does, you know. I really don't think. He's been a bit unlucky, because if he had any red here, reds are really nice.
Is he looking at a plant?
Yeah, I think he is, and I don't blame him. I think the plant wins the frame. 8-ball's a little guarded, but he can get there. But the plant gets him on the red at the top of the table. Oh, he can see the one.
Gap.
He's got the gap. He's okay.
Wow, this is huge.
Yeah, just track the one at the bottom of the table here, and then get yourself back up. You can manipulate the one to left centre. Yeah, that's what he's looking at now. What does he need to get on? He needs to get the low angle. If he gets high, he's got an issue getting onto the next ball. Straight works.
Straight's perfect. I think that's exactly where he is.
Yeah. Oh, this will be some statement from the young man, wouldn't it?
But this is exactly what he does, and it's terrifying, to be honest with you. You know, I kind of mentioned that game with Cole Bedford he played previously. He was way down in that game as well. I think he was something like 9-4 or 10-4. He's come back to 10-all. You know, he's got the ability to do it, and when he gets on a run, he's dangerous. Oh, he just wanted that to go through a little bit more.
Yeah, I was thinking when he left the straight angle to get onto the one he's just played, if he had got low, he could have got on the one in the middle of the table, which essentially means he'd be where he is now with only the 8-ball left, and it would have made a difference.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Is he completely dead on it?
There is a tiniest gap, but yeah, even if he makes this off one cushion,
he's got a double.
Yeah, I guess he'd have the double. I don't think he'd go too low, but this is not what he was looking for.
Oh, he's fouled.
He's fouled.
Oh, that's a double whammy, that. Only saving grace is where he sat the red, the 8-ball doesn't go now, so Tom's got to cannon all of it out. But then again, actually, if he can just play it off the middle, then that's not really an issue either. So
it looks quite high. I thought he was going to go yellow to top right with the angle to go into the problem, but he was happier with that as his option. I mean, why not? It's very nice.
Yeah, that's a huge opportunity miss for Cohen. I think from the outlay after the first session, will Cohen be a little bit disappointed? I suppose yes, he could have come out. He probably could have stolen a 7-5 out of this, maybe even a 6-all at a push. But I think for your first game on TV, I think you've got to be realistic in the fact that you aren't going to take every chance. So, I mean, 9-3 from, I think, commentator's perspective, I think he's done okay.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was expecting him to come in here and win the match. And yes, he may well have done himself, because confidence of youth, but the experience he will have gained from playing Tom Cousins, and he absolutely has not disgraced himself at all. And he still, I guess, has a fighting chance for session 2.
Yeah, obviously for Cohen's situation, obviously if he was to lose this match, there is a plate in this event as well. So, you know, it's not all at a loss. And once again, playing on the TV table, you give yourself a bit of confidence going into that as well. So it wouldn't surprise me that obviously if he does end up going down that route, if he did go on a good run, but for now he's going to have to settle for 9-3 and see what he can do in the next session.
Yeah, 9-3 it is. Tom Cousins just about doing enough, really. very much preserving his lead, but good to see Cohen Bradford putting up a fight there at the end. What a shame he couldn't win the final frame and make it a 4-frame gap.
I've had about 3 or 4 across my time.
That's unfortunate, actually, because he's not went straight in off there. He's gotten kicked, so I wouldn't put down to an unforced error.
Well, not even kicked off. I mean, kicked off, but I mean, look at the split as well. He couldn't have hit it much better. And now Scott's got a golden opportunity to.
I notice particularly when you're kind of screwing or stunning back in the block, if you have a touch aside when it's going towards the pocket, it just hugs that pocket so much more, and it doesn't kind of rattle at all.
An honest question for you, Cormac. Would you have gone yellows there? It just seems like the reds were out in the open and perfect to be attacked to. Whereas he's got a couple on cushions here.
I would have went red, yeah.
Yeah, that seemed like a bit of a bizarre choice.
He's all right. Like, it's not a massive issue, but personally speaking, I would have preferred reds. I just feel like they're more kind of constructed together. Yeah, but he's totally good here.
Yeah, he's absolutely fine. He's gone through this quite quickly. This is the shot now, isn't it? Just make sure you get the gap.
Yeah, he has to top it off the cushion now, so he has to play an okay shot here. Yeah.
Perfect.
So just drip her in, pocket away.
And this is a very good response after getting dragged into a very un-Scott Pope frame, to be fair, in the last one. Yeah, very good.
I played the winner of Chippy and Jamie Graham this evening.
Is there any preference there, or if you'd prefer the amateur or prefer Chippy?
Don't really care, to be honest, but I suppose Chippy would kind of make you... No disrespect, obviously, to Jamie, but, you know, Chippy might make me kind of, like, step my game up a little more because he's obviously, like, a household name. But in reality, no, don't really care who I play, to be honest.
Great break from Scott again, but he's not really been given a nice opener, but that is a great opening pot.
Perfect.
He's managed to form those 2 yellows as well that were awkward into a plan. And he's actually opened up the frame here. So good opportunity for...
4-0 to Jamie Graham.
He's off to a flyer, isn't he?
Might have to keep my eyes peeled on that.
Wanted to make a more full contact than me with that. He can still pot this. You probably play it off the yellow. I don't know. Just to kill the white a little bit more. I don't know if that's really an option for him.
Yeah. I think he has to duck it up here. He's got to be careful as well because it's fiddly.
Oh, did he hit it?
Yeah. No, he's hit it. Yeah, he's just... I could see that happening a mile away with the gap. So, I think just stun this back slightly and, yeah, they're all there.
I think this frame might help Ryan out there. Now that he's at the table, because it's the kind of frame that he's forced to attack. Might just help him get into that mindset a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, good shot.
Yeah, great opener.
Just run this through now, and he's in the business end.
Should be absolutely fine. Maybe a roll short of where he wanted to be, but...
Yeah, just screw over to the side cushion here.
Just deciding which way he wants to go with this. You've got to be careful with bounce outs with these.
I was just going to say, I hate them shots because it's like, you just fear the worst. It's like, don't pop out, don't pop out.
in the end, very good from Ryan Pisani. And Scott just misjudging that shot to cannon the yellow has cost him. We are into a 1-2-8 format, races to 13 across 2 sessions. That break has been ridiculous so far.
Yeah, he's crunching very nicely. Then again, he was lucky with the cue ball because it did run close.
It's all going to be... I'm going to figure he's going to take yellows here.
The red goes by the yellow on the close to the top cushion. I would have been going reds there, but
I think
probably doesn't.
I think looking at the overhead, I don't think it does.
Just died on him there a bit. I think he can pinch this though, where he can kind of. He can miss the red hair left hand side. Don't think he even needs to pinch the pocket. No, he's fine. If that yellow can drop maybe half ball past the red, it'd be very ideal, but it could be a bit too risky. Might not even go. No, we got the overhead. No, it doesn't.
I think he's left himself the one to the top left.
I'm not too sure it goes. Does it?
If he's on it, he's perfect. I think
playing a touch aside, what? Yeah.
Oh. It's tight, isn't it? Is it maybe because he's got a slight bit of angle on it as well? He doesn't want the white running off to the left-hand side. That's sort of a factor, but yeah, he's changed his mind. Tricky shot in the middle pocket now.
Yeah, I think he's just going to run it around for the same pocket. No
Short.
legs.
Way short. Has he maybe got the yellow now to the top right? No. So now he's looking at playing off of the red into the right middle pocket.
Yeah, where's the cue ball going though? Because
he might try and dig this with a bit of left-hand side. Yeah. Yeah, this tariff has just gone very high up in this finish. Oh, that's brilliant. That is brilliant.
It's worked out lovely. Couldn't ask so much better there.
Yeah, Scott Pipe, that's class. It just felt like that clearance was just starting to get away from him a little bit. But as it is, a brilliant recovery shot has given him the 7th frame.
You know, Tom's still got to win 4 frames from there, which is a lot. He's nowhere near the hill at 9-3.
Yeah, I completely agree, and you also get the opportunity to see turnarounds. You can get off to poor starts. I'm going to highlight that by, as we see a beautiful break from John Rowe. He really does. When you see him break like that, you think it is an absolute joy. You think, how does he not break clear every single time with a break like that? But just to highlight my point on the comebacks, Jamie Graham was 6-0 in front of Sean Chipperfield, and it's now 7-5. That's the final score of their session.
Yep.
And that's just, the match has completely changed. At 6-0 down in a race to 7, you're done. You're toast. And now it's 7-5. It's a different match.
Yeah, but it's difficult as well mentally, isn't it? Because for Jamie, knowing he was 6-0 up, he's going into that last session tonight as probably in his head second favourite, isn't he?
Yeah.
Whereas Chippy's going into it, even though he's 7-5 down, thinking brilliant. You know, I've got away with one there.
Yeah, completely.
But the funny thing is, if you'd offered Jamie 7-5 before the match started, he'd have probably snapped your hand off.
Over the moon with it, absolutely. Of course, that is a former world champion and top professional against a amateur qualifier, although Jamie, very good player in his own right. That was a very surprising miss from John Rowe to start the match. He won't be thrilled with that. It's given Mike a great chance.
Yeah, and one of those chances that Mike probably would have sat in his chair, seen the break, and thought to himself, "Oh, never mind, I'm sort of 1-0 down here." But with John missing the ball, he did, and it just popping in front of that yellow. In Mike's head, he probably might be thinking, "Oh, this is a nice chance, and I've almost got sort of a half of a free swing at it." If he can get through to the red over the pocket, top left, that should be his next ball, and then play on the one in the middle for the one down the rail last. If he can't get through to that one and manage to get out, it might be a bit awkward. Not a surprise to see the cue ball come back further than Mike wanted, given the speed of his new cloth out there. Something I'm sure he'll get used to throughout the match, but for now, leaves him with a back double to try and judge, and it looks like he's got to sort of judge the cannon into the red on the rail as well. Now he's choosing to play the red down the rail first. He's played it really well. That'll be a good settler for him as well.
Yeah, sometimes a nice shot like that, just to really, you put yourself under pressure, but you deal with it. Really set you in nicely.
Also important early doors to punish John for the miss.
Yeah, absolutely. Playing great players, I always say that. Got to punish the mistakes. Don't let good players, don't let great players know they can get away with mistakes out there. Beautiful start for Mike Chappell, that really was. It gives everyone an opportunity, but it creates storylines as well. You know, the storyline we've got developing with Sean Chipperfield and Jamie Graham, I think is fantastic to see that 6-0, you know, and all of a sudden we're in a, you know, the player that was 6-0 down is arguably favourite for the match. You know, that's a storyline I can get on board with. I think it creates something different, and I really like it. So it gets a lot of ticks from me.
Is that something you can follow throughout the tournament, though? I mean, because obviously we have the question of, if you start playing on a table, would you finish your match on that table? Because obviously, in a situation like that, it might be a great idea to potentially get that match on the stream later, because you're following the storyline of it.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in the matches need to go on the tables they were played on. I really do believe that. I think it'd be a strange one to change tables, but I guess anything's possible.
Well, yeah, I think it adds to the difficulty level of the tournament, really, doesn't it? I mean, if you play your first session on a table and you've got a break sorted out and you're flying and you go sort of 8-4 up, and then your sort of second session is on a different table and that same break doesn't work, it's then sort of a 2-session match and a game of 2 halves, if you like, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just want to see the most dramatic moments, I guess.
Well, yeah, but you know, from the first session, the storyline obviously is the Jamie Graham and Chipperfield match, isn't it? So it'd be nice to see how they both cope with that on the stream later, is all I'm saying. Something for UP to consider.
Well, John's first visit to the table, following that mistake from Mike, has not gone well for him. Not settled in yet.
Yeah, and at first glance these yellows may look tricky, but the yellows on the respective rails either side do go in-off balls in the middle. I think the yellow on its own on the right-hand rail, as we look, does go in-off the red in the middle, if you can get below it. And these yellows on the left-hand side will poke in-off the red. So it might be deal with the yellows on the left-hand side, one here in the middle of the red, hit it hard enough to get the red clean out of the way. And then I'd be going down the rail bottom left, then up for top left, and leaving the angle on the one in the middle, just to drift over for the final yellow on this right-hand side, in off the red in the middle. Stopped in these tracks there, just wondering if he's come far enough. Looks like he fancies the double.
Oh, I thought that was him when he hit it. I think he did as well. 2 chances come and go for Mike in frame 3, and this is now nicely open for John Rowe to get his first frame on the board, get into this match.
Yeah, and in his head he'll be thinking a chance he's got to take, really. Just to get himself going. He'll want to be able to take these out with absolutely no fuss and no bother. Just for his own peace of mind. Little far here. Not sure if he can still stun in behind these 2 reds. I'll have to screw back. Not ideal though. It looks like he's not going to be able to avoid the other red when he pots this top left, so he's going to have to either judge a cannon or try and slide past it. Judged it nicely. Goes bottom corner past the 8 ball.
Frame.
Yeah, John is on the board then. Needed a couple of chances himself, but that should settle him in.
Because if you can come out sort of 10-2 down, break clear, dry, you need a couple of dry breaks, for instance, to play perfect, and you're back at 10-7, and 10-7 all of a sudden
Foul.
you're in a match.
Ball in hand from Bolt.
Sorry, Chris was suddenly just distracted by just how
Wow.
brutal this is. Watch the
Yeah.
cue ball here, watch it. Oh, that's harsh, that's harsh. That is very, very tough for him, because John turned around knowing the cue ball was in the middle of the table and he was in with a chance.
Extension call.
Yeah. And just another little thing that's not going to help John's headspace out there at the moment.
Early call this, but
Yeah.
what's the furthest behind you feel John could be and be in with a chance second session? I know that we're going to play 12 frames here, or
Yeah.
let's forget about the clock, we should play 12 frames here. And it's only 3-1, so John could still comfortably win this session, but just trying to get a sense of...
I'd still, if John was 10-2 behind, I know it's a long, long way, but as I was just saying, I still don't think the match is over.
So breaking it down, because it's a race to 13, 10-2,
Yep.
you would then come back in, let's say you set yourself a target to win, the first mini session in your own mind, as say 4-1, then you're probably then 11-6.
Yeah.
So you'd still, yeah.
Yeah. It's about keeping your opponent off the hill, isn't it? In any race, but
Yeah.
in the longer races, the longer you can keep someone off the hill, the better. And as we all know, the hardest frames to win, generally, especially as you sort of move down levels in the game, are the ones to actually get yourself over the line. The top players are the ones that, make the match-winning frames look as easy as the first frame they're playing.
Yeah, agreed. Something I definitely struggled with.
Were you scared of winning or nervous?
I couldn't
or
tell you.
Excited?
Never felt like I was. I honestly couldn't tell you the reason. But there was certainly towards the end of before I fully moved into the commentary box, a number of times I was, 6-1 up in a race to 7, or 5-0 up in a race to 6, and just find, and then once you've done that once or twice, every time you get yourself in that position, you think, and you lose a frame, instead of thinking, well, I'll just get the next one, you're thinking, oh, it's going to happen again.
Right.
And it just, so yeah.
So you just sort of happened a couple of times and then gave yourself a mental block on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Tough.
certainly remember the worst one for me was 5-0 up against the person I was rooming with, and I lost 6-5. he asked me straight away. He said, "Do you want to go for dinner?" I said, "Oh, no, I don't. I don't. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'll see you in a few hours."
Yeah. Gonna go to dinner and discuss that.
Yeah.
That would be fun. I think John obviously was trying to hide the white ball here, but I think he played it, with a fairly happy mindset, in that leaving him dead straight on this red, he probably wouldn't be able to do too much.
Well,
What?
Wow.
How has that happened?
Well,
Yes, I'm
yeah.
confused as well.
Wow. Maybe we've swapped it for a funny white ball.
Well, that was incredible. Yeah, he's still confused. Don't blame you.
Is John playing the loss of turn here?
He should do. He doesn't get the loss of turn. He does get the snooker though.
Might be a case of John's mindset out there, because fair enough, the loss of you can argue 50-50 loss of turn or pot the balls, and there's those 3 yellows around the middle pocket that might take a little bit of working out, but it looks like the top one of the 3 goes in the middle, which opens up the other 2.
Yeah.
I think that's just a case of John not necessarily feeling as aggressive as he might have done if things gone a bit differently. But
3-1 up, he probably goes.
Yeah.
3-1 down,
yeah, but as always happens in pool, he's got ball in hand here, but Mike's actually made the table worse for John with ball in hand than he had it previously. with
Yeah,
ball in
and
hand.
which is your point about, was that the right time to go? Because the layout was better than it is now.
Yeah, it looks like John's playing yellow off of the yellow to nudge the red out the way. Should open things up as long as the red doesn't get in the way down the bottom end of the table here. Which it does.
It does. If that red goes an extra 2 rolls, it's all open.
Yeah, it's one of those shots again where if you're absolutely bang on it, you're thinking, I've got to hit this hard enough to get the red out the way.
And once again, that's made John make the decision to pull back.
Yeah. And even though the shot he's played is absolutely fine, and the previous shot he played was absolutely fine, there's nothing wrong with those. In this situation, John will probably have the feeling that he's not playing well, because in his head he's missed a couple of opportunities, whereas he hasn't actually missed them, he's decided not to go for them. But again, ball in hand, but Mike's potentially pushed the ball safe. It's another problem for John to deal with.
Yeah, now he's got 2 problems to deal with rather than 1.
Yeah.
I thought he was still going to go on that second one. I really did.
Yeah, I mean, the yellow and the red that are tied up at the bottom here, if the yellow goes left centre, that's probably the shot, because I'm not sure what he's going to gain on this.
I think that was more a case of he hadn't worked out what he wanted to do, and 30 seconds was coming up, so
Yeah.
just reset. And he'll probably be in his mind now, in his chair, just thinking about what would he do if he was to get cube on hand and nothing moved, kind of half formulating
Yeah.
a plan. Of course, you don't expect Mike not to hit a red here.
Yeah, and again, now, there's another ball that doesn't go for John. Normally you'd be saying, this is not a problem, John's massive favourite, he's well in control of the frame. But watching the frame, it's very easy to see both players' mindset, isn't it? If you said, here's a frame of pool, can you tell me who's feeling better about the game than the other one? You'd be able to tell, wouldn't you?
Yeah. And he is going to go this time, quite
Yeah.
rightly. He's given himself the angle, but there's no doubt the best chance he's had to go for the finish so far was the first one. If this comes out well, this will be fine as well.
Yeah, that's lovely. Middle corner, 8 in the middle.
I said on commentary when you played on Monday night in the pairs, you made a finish, and I think you had to. I can't remember the finish at all, but I remember thinking, and I was talking about it on commentary, that maybe you had to do more work on the final couple of shots than you would have wanted to at the start of the visit, and that you're the sort of player that would go back, maybe not in the moment, but at the end of the night, analyse it and go, could I have found a better route? Was I accurate? Is that the sort of thing you would do?
Yeah, I definitely watch it back and have a look and see what I could have done differently and what I could have done better, because obviously the people watching it will see made the finish. Can't necessarily do any better than that because you've made the finish.
But I think there's players that think that as well. We've seen in the Pro Series that the very few matches don't finish now in races to 7, so 13 frames and 50 minutes as well. So it's interesting, isn't it? The way this match has just been an outlier really in terms of number of frames played.
Yeah, it's quite a small percentage, as you say, isn't it? What, 10%, maybe less than 10% of matches don't go all the way?
Yeah.
And there's a few 7/6s in there as well.
Yeah, there's plenty now that I think everyone's general pace has picked up. I think there's 30 seconds a shot is, if you use the full 30 seconds on every shot, is a long time.
Yeah.
But players' natural pace is now picked up to the point where they'll use 30 when you need to, but more often than not, they're all there. They're just going to get down and knock them in quite quickly, because the benefit of that is you're saving time for the back end of the match. And also, you want your natural pace to be quicker so that when you get to 15 seconds, it's not so jarring.
Yes. Correct.
Should get these to get back 2 in front. These are there. Shouldn't really be any reason not to get them.
Yeah. They come out brilliant, didn't they? And like you say, there shouldn't be any reason not to get them, but just because of the way the match has gone so far, it almost wouldn't surprise me if something did go a little bit awry.
I think he had to go forward more there, didn't he?
I think he's okay. He can screw this one back. Oh, he's taking the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I think he's off angle on both of them. No, he's okay. He could just drop. He knew he was going to be above the middle pocket. He's fine. But I'm like, I was assuming he would play the one he's just played as his connection to the one down the table.
Yeah.
To then play this one was always going to be his last ball.
Yeah, just purely because you're then sort of a couple of foot closer to the ball, aren't you?
Yeah. He shouldn't.
Again, it's not a ball you're probably ever going to miss, but when you're a couple of foot closer to it, you get it 100 out of 100 instead of 99 out of 100, don't you?
Well, there you go. There is the one. And I actually think the reason he's missed that is because he's slightly worried. Just a hint of it in his own mind is thinking, don't slide too far across the table and you know, get close to that 8 ball or stick on it or do something silly. Because of that just turn of angle, he couldn't cue that one through. I mean, he could have done, but that's probably what was in his mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I just got that feeling when he had 4 balls left, and he was taking what you would consider for the finish that he had. It was just a little bit too much time.
Yeah.
Almost as if his brain's telling him, don't get these wrong, rather than plot them and get them right.
When he had 3 in the middle of the table, it was just a case of make sure you were staying on one straight in, or just about straight in, right centre, and it took a long time to work that out.
Yeah. And again, you can't disagree with the option John's picked here. He was going to leave the red over the hole to cover the 8 ball and lay the snooker on Mike, but that red popping out just means that John will be slightly worried here, because this is a free shot for Mike, and if he does get it, the 8 does go.
You'd expect to win the frame from here 2 or 3 times out of 10, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
He hasn't on this occasion.
Yeah,
that's probably more to do with Mike not playing on the table that much. I know he's had 45 minutes of play out there, but probably the first time he's had to play a shot like that in the match, where it just didn't come off at the angle he was expecting.
Yeah. But whereas you would normally say ball in hand here for John, these are gone. There's just enough of a problem in a couple of places here.
Yeah, the first shot wasn't the best. He needed to come across there and be able to pot the one he's just played without moving the other one and play on the one up the table. So he had the one that he's just moved as his connection back down.
Yeah.
He's just asked himself a little question here. You can see him fighting himself. Almost see the cogs turning.
Yeah, because he's not He's not ideal here. He'll be probably worried if I don't get into it too much, I can go in off in the middle. Oh, he's going top. So again, it could trap.
He's nowhere.
Yeah.
He's nowhere, and the yellow is still hanging over the pocket.
What I will tell you, in the hope that I don't absolutely jinx him, is he is one of the best doublers in the game.
Okay. Don't tell John if this misses. The problem is, I don't think he's going to end up nicely on the last ball if he makes the double.
No, but he has got a shot where he can just play off the side of this ball and leave Mike snookered again.
Full into it, but again, Mike should win the frame. What, 30% of the time from here?
Well,
oh, you can see the yellow. If you can see the edge of the pot, he should win it now. But
I don't think you can see it to pot it. But the thing is here, game management for me, I wouldn't be going up and down.
really,
I would be going off the bottom cushion, just nudging into the yellow and leaving the cue ball in that bottom and saying to John, I know you're bang under it because you refused a few. So there you go. Put him under some more pressure.
did he learn from the previous one? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Nice
Great
shot.
Great shot. In fairness, the way he's played it, he wouldn't have been leaving John a great deal anyway. So, Cohen 8 ball in. Nope.
Well, we're down to 145 left here. Now, most important thing for both these players is to win this frame. But would John want to win this frame and make this the last frame, or would he want to try and get one more frame, try and win it inside that 1:30 to try and have the break to edge in front? Well, I think if you offered him 4-4 now,
if I'm being completely honest with you,
Yeah.
I wouldn't imagine either of them have got any idea
Yeah.
what the match clock's doing at the moment.
No, I think you're right.
So
The
that's
most
not a bad
important
shot
thing
for
is
John.
just to win this frame.
Again, he can go off the top cushion if he wants to try and put it in the middle, which is, you know, again, maybe a 2 in 10.
He's doing
I'm
that.
not sure it's the right shot in these circumstances.
You just play the 8 ball onto the red and make sure it hits the cushion.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's gifted it. I mean, that's left John just
Yeah.
perfect to win the frame.
Yeah.
Now John needs to make the decision. Do you want to have one more frame after this or not? He has got that decision to make, if it's even in his mind.
But I mean, again,
believe
he's played it again as a shot to nothing, hasn't he? Because you know he's going to get that red probably 9 times out of 10 that he's left himself on. But a confident John is leaving himself straight plumbing behind that red and not worrying about leaving the 8 ball on because he's going to pot the other ball.
Yeah, I'm really shocked at the way he played it. I mean, he would have been further across the table if he makes the pot. So I suppose it wasn't, maybe not even in his mind what he was leaving. But
And if this cue ball goes awkward, no, it hasn't.
okay. The clock is off, so that tells us that
Last
we are essentially, this is the last frame. There is,
That's okay.
yeah. Even that will be in John's mind going, have I left this on the cushion? What have I just done to myself?
Yep.
This wants to be his final shot of the session. And it's a good one. In
Shot.
goes the 8 ball. Well, a very, very, very tough session of pool there for both players. John Rowe, former world champion, he will be over the moon to be 4-4 the way he's just played there.
Definitely.
Stuart's obviously got to have played well to get here, and obviously going through those qualifiers. There were 3-stage qualifiers to get into this, so 3 matches to win in order to get there, but breaking dry won't be the ideal start there for Stuart.
Yeah, he's hit him off a little, but he's hit him okay. Not a bad spread for Chris here. I think he will go red balls. Depends on this angle on the first one on the top left corner. He could drop it through and then play for the red in the centre afterwards, but he could choose yellows, but they just look a lot tougher, the yellow balls, for me. So I think red balls would be the choice.
It's just that bit of traffic up the top, isn't it? It's just working out the route of it. I think if he can just drop this red straight and maybe give himself a little bit of angle just to pop the white out with the next shot.
Yeah,
Well, actually,
this is literally game ball for me, really. I know he's got the red behind the baulk line, but he's got bags of space to get onto that. So if he pots this, I'd expect Chris to take this frame out.
just very much brushed that top jaw, but absolutely fine.
He's got to play a cannon here, then.
Yeah, very nice.
Just how he goes up table. I'm wondering if he how he sees this. He could play for the cue ball on the blue spot and then play the red on the left side of the table, and then he could stun off the side cushion into the baulk line. I think that's the way he's going to go.
Yeah, I like that. He's
Played it nice.
Yeah, he's in classic magician mode, isn't he, at the moment? You see he's just started off in that kind of automatic. Oh, well.
Quite surprised he played it like that. I thought he'd have just accepted distance, but he obviously thought he was missing the cannon.
Yeah, that could have gone wrong as it was. He's had a bit of a result. Yeah, and that's a lovely shot. And a quick start for Chris Melling puts him one ahead. Wasn't surprised to see someone like him go deep. You know, I did mention Cormac earlier on actually as a name to him while he was here. I feel like Cormac's another player that could really attack this format. But
It's going to be interesting anyway, the different format. 2 sessions, it's different for every player here, I think.
that's a great break from Stuart. But the other thing that Simon said actually, which I don't think's been fully true so far, was he kind of mentioned this idea that, you know, the cream should rise to the top in this tournament, and, you know, with the longer races all the pros would come through. As it is, from the opening couple of sessions, there's been a couple where pros have fallen quite far behind. I mean, Jamie Graham against Sean Chipperfield was a big example of that. Scott Pope's got a lead over Ryan Pisani, and there's a couple of the good amateurs that are coming through and doing some damage already.
Just shows the level of the game now. Everybody's at a decent level. Stuart won't be happy with that, unfortunately. Not the best of shots there, and good opportunity for Chris to counter.
Yeah, that was the first opportunity he really had to get his arm going, and he's not quite done it. Is Chris maybe thinking cannon the 8?
Ball, yeah.
Nice.
Still got the one red to solve near the centre. I wonder if he'll play on the double or if he'll try and move that later in the visit. I think the double will be the shot because it's natural to land on. So he's looking here at getting to the right centre to leave the angle to move the red off the left cushion. I think he's okay. I think the yellow should kill the white here, take all the pace out of it and leave the angle.
Yeah, it just kills it, sits that yellow on the cushion, and then you've kind of done the 2 in 1, haven't you? You've promoted yours and made it harder for the opponent.
He could hit this half ball though. He's played that okay. There was a way he could have hit that half ball and put it on top of the yellow. It was something to think of, but he's aimed to try and cannon the ball a little further.
Yeah, Chris isn't messing around here, is he?
Looks good.
Looks deadly, to be honest with you. That's 5 minutes 20, 3-0.
Until you actually get out there, feel the pressure, and feel what it is. It's not easy out there, I can tell you that.
That's a cruncher from Chris again. Once again, the split's pretty good as well. Has he got a nice open in yellow? I don't know. He might have to play a plant.
He's got the one at the top right of the table, just behind the baulk line. He can play that if he wants yellows.
It's just because he's hampered on it. That's the only thing. It's just getting back down again. That's why I think he is looking at the options towards the middle pocket. But if he can get his arm through to it.
I just think this one yellow is sort of out the way. He needs to get rid of this early himself.
That's what he's done. Ooh. Can he get through to the one over the pocket? Yes, he can.
He's okay here. He's landed okay.
Yeah, what he's going to do is play this one into the left middle and attack the one that's nearest the bottom cushion next. Exactly like that, just threaded the gap.
Still got to play one shot really. It's just that yellow near the red ball. He's got to take a little bit of consideration on that. If he takes that as his last ball, you see, he's got to ensure he gets the right angle. In an ideal world, you want the one closest to the right centre for the 8 ball. So now you'd think he's going to go forward to play the yellow in the opposite centre, but he has to land fairly straight on it, because if he doesn't, then he's not going to have a great chance to win the 8 ball.
Yeah, I think he has got a nice angle, to be fair, to do exactly that. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Took these out well, hasn't he? He looks very good, to be honest.
Well, Chris Mellon's still yet to miss a ball, and 6-0 in front, 11 minutes gone. Yeah, Chris is one of the best players for mapping out exactly where he's going to hit on a cushion in order to make a ball. Oh, is he on it?
Wow,
That
he's
is so unlucky.
He's got no shot.
Mind you, it would be very Chris Mellon to then pull this out as well.
I'm not sure how he does, to be honest. He's got a sliver sticking out off the bottom cushion, but I don't think there's enough there to pot it in the right centre. I really don't think there is.
I think he can. I think you might almost play it with a bit of running side almost off the bottom cushion just to be able to widen the angle, but
Very difficult, anyway.
let's just see. I mean, they call him the magician for a reason. Can he get this 8 ball moving?
Foul.
Oh no.
Wasn't easy, that. Very tricky. So Stewart's really got to get these now. I don't want to keep putting the pressure on him, but he needs to get a foothold in this game. And I don't want to put the mockers on him or anything, but this is as easy as a chance as you're ever going to get.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
For me as well, I'd be playing the other red first and leaving this as my ball to get away from the cushion, so I'm not sure. Because now he's straight.
Dead straight as well. That is as
Criminal.
bad as you could play the first shot.
Criminal, that really. Like you say, he could have just put the object ball where it is now and played this red first, and then he couldn't go wrong.
He's actually, remarkably, he's going to have to chase this a little bit now. Yeah, there you go.
He's played that well, to be honest. He can sneak the one into the left centre now, but he's just got unnecessary sort of pressure that he didn't require. Because he's got to play a bit of a shot now. The pots are given, but he's just got to miss the jaws in the bottom left corner and come back up to the middle of the table.
Wow.
So he hasn't played that too great. He's misjudged it, but I think he's okay here. He can just pop the red into the top right corner. It passes the other red ball.
He's in a good position behind it, to be honest with you. So yeah, he has had a bit of a steal there, but
Yeah, you've got to think you're going to pot this sort of 8, 9 out of 10. So
but then again, nerves come into play. You know, you're out of position for where you should have been. It's gone in, but now he's hugging the cushion. You know, it's just not coming easy, is it, at the moment for Stu?
yeah, I think nerve-wise, hopefully they'd have gone for him by now. He's sort of a little bit. I know he hasn't won a frame, but he's still involved in the match a little bit. He's had quite a bit of hand on the table, so you'd like to think he's settled in that respect. But no one ever really settles till they win the first frame.
That's very good. Oh, then again, he's short again.
Bit of a stinker now on this 8 ball. You
Oh,
think he's got to nip this to screw back, I'd say. So he's got to really time it well. If he doesn't time this well, he'll just pop the cue ball in the centre.
Yeah, it's just never landed nice, has he, throughout this whole finish? But yeah, this 8 ball to get your first frame on the board. Very good.
Played that nice. But not just that, Chris is an ultra talented player as well. He's got every shot in the book. But I always think it's just down to speed. I don't want to use the word carelessness, but sometimes because he plays that fast, he could just be wrong-sided on a ball so easily, you know, because he doesn't double-check where he needs to be.
It's that being an automatic, isn't it? And then something just completely frozen.
Yeah, but then the other side of the coin is I've never seen Chris do it, but if Chris played methodically, he may not enjoy the overthinking and may sort of stumble himself, you know, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He's one of them players who just needs to get on with it.
It's momentum.
Yeah, momentum's key for him and his natural playing pace. Otherwise, like I say, I've not seen him do it, but if he was slow, maybe it wouldn't suit his game.
No balls in play.
As it is, decent opportunity for Stuart McPherson.
The 8 ball's the biggest issue here, though. I'm not entirely sure how he gets on it and what ball he leaves for it.
Does go into that top left-hand pocket.
Oh, does it pass the red? I
Yeah.
can't really see. Okay. Not as big as a problem then, but he's still got to play a good cue ball to get on it. But even like here, this is where the difference of the best players, I think. They just take these balls out in the correct order. And
He played the right shot there, and he's been a bit unlucky.
See, I think he played it a bit too firm myself, but like I say, that's just nitpicking. But he's still okay here. You can see the bottom yellow here and the bottom left. But he's just got to miss the red on the right-hand side near the yellow because the cue ball's tracking towards that red, I think. He just needs to get into the open table here.
Yeah, perfect.
So this is where it's vitally important he goes the right way here, because a lot of people think, oh, play the one left middle, then down the rail, then right middle, but how do you get on the 8 ball on the one bottom right? So you can't leave that one bottom right to a last, so he has to figure out a way of doing this.
See, for me, I would go left middle and then use the one to left corner to land on the one to right corner.
Yeah, so he needs a big angle on this now, just so he can half ball stun it over, but it makes the finish harder, potting wise.
He's gone for the cannon.
I don't mind that shot, to be fair. Unfortunately, he's not landed as good as he wanted to, but if he landed okay on it, it would have worked.
See, now he's going to have to take the 2 on the right, which is going to make the shot to land on the 8 even harder, unless he fancies the double.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I don't agree with that. He's tried to just bump it, I think. He should have just took his medicine and rolled it in.
It was kind of a half-hearted cannon attempt as well. He didn't really put his arm through that, even if you were. And yeah, now he's way out of position, because he's not going to be able to pot this ball next, which means he's going to have to play it after, and then landing on the 8 ball it's just going to be a mess.
He thinks he can cut it.
This is tricky. Well, he's got it. Oh, well, I thought he had it. So Chris is going to come back to the table. And he's got to work out a plan, because...
Not easy, yeah. 2 dead balls here.
Yeah, and 2 yellows hanging over pockets.
No real obvious loss of turn either at the moment, so he's going to be looking at going game, I'd imagine, trying to remove that yellow over the bottom right corner is his long-term plan. Not an easy ball to play it though. The only ball I can see is once this red over the middle is gone, he'll have the other red that goes in the same middle.
Oh,
wow.
Chris.
Would have been a kick the way he's reacted.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to get a replay on that actually, just to see exactly what happened with that red.
Can't really tell on the camera, but obviously he's not going to just make it up, you'd think.
You never know. Chris might just want a bit of drama. But as it is, Stuart now is going to have a double to win this frame. He's 2 straight on the yellow really to come across. He does still have the pocket past the red, so big double this for Stuart, because he's going to want to get another frame on the board.
Yeah, just took his medicine and then played the double. He did have the angle to sort of stun screw over to that top right corner, which would have gave him an option for the 8 ball in a couple of pockets, but he obviously fancies a double, or maybe he didn't fancy risking.
Yeah, it just felt like you were kind of pumping that ball if you were going to do that, and that's just when maybe in a situation which Stuart is in, he might have missed the white. That's a great double.
Nice 8 ball. He'll be relieved with that, another frame on the board.
Yeah, you can see it. It's just a little bit of a shake of the arms, but
I think the in-off's close here, you know, in the top right corner. I might be wrong. I think it just misses that red. It's very close. Maybe I'm misjudging it on the camera angle.
Yeah, to me it looks a little bit on the thinner side, so maybe it would go towards the red on the right hand. But this one for 9-3.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, he's missed it. Yeah, that's going to be disappointing for Stuart. That was the opportunity really of all of them that he should have taken out.
Yeah, a couple of missed posts really that he shouldn't have had, but it's not easy out there. I've said many times before in here. When you watch the great players play effortlessly, you think this game's easy, but until you get out there and have a go, it's different.
Once again, I'm a little bit surprised that Chris tried to play cannon there. He probably could have just landed on the red to the middle, dribbled it in, but it went wrong, so he's had to reroute.
His last ball now, I'd say, the one in the middle.
Yeah. Just play this for...
Just wants to play for left middle now, then top left, then middle, and then 8 ball down the rail would be his plan.
Yeah, he looks in prime position here, doesn't he? He's just below that middle pocket.
Yeah, I can't really see any issues here. He's as good as he could be on this. I'm surprised he's playing this with so much spin to try and move something.
Well, has he
sure
got it?
About that myself. I know it's worked well, but I'm not sure about that shot. I don't know what he's really achieved. He had the red literally there anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant shot. But is it just because he's 9-2 up?
Makes you wonder if this was 6-all, would he have played that shot against someone who's been hammering him back? Because I can assure you wouldn't have played that against anybody else.
Still, one for the highlight reel, isn't it? Like,
I suppose so, yeah. Not what I'd have done, but everyone's different.
but yeah, Chris is in prime position here. I don't quite know he's spent so much time over this.
Just because he's going away from the 8-ball. The cue ball's tracking to the left, so he'll have a thin one down the rail. I think that's what he's... So he might even play for the double here. Oh, it looks like he's spinning in off the cushion to move it.
He's gone for it again. Little flick.
Good effort.
If this drops in the middle, it's an unbelievable dig. Yeah, it's pretty good from Chris Mellon that in the end. But
Good finish in the end. I think for me, a couple of shots maybe I wouldn't have played, but it's worked in his favour. And yeah, great finish. And 10-2 up, he'll be over the moon with that performance.
yeah, at the end of the day, Stuart McPherson didn't take his chances, but Chris Melling did, and he is 10-2 ahead going into the second session later on today. That one went really close. If it just was for one 8-ball that Ryan missed, it would be 6 apiece. There was nothing to split them at all. So that one's going to go deep. But don't write off Cohen getting a couple of frames here. I'm excited to see how he comes out in the second session. Now he's got nothing to lose, so why not just throw the gauntlet at it?
Well, let's just take away the fact that it's Tom Cousins, the #1 player, against one of the up-and-coming youngsters in Cohen Bradford. At 9-3 down, how much hope do you give the player that's trailing in terms of your 6 behind? But Tom still does need 4 frames.
You're not, at this point, I think you've got to be realistic, and I think Cohen won't be seeing this as I'm going to come out and win. This is a case of you do it in stages.
Yeah.
Get a couple of frames on the board, get to 9-5, 9-6. If you're in that position at that point, brilliant, attack it. If Tom comes out and wins the next couple of frames, you're just doing damage limitation and making yourself look good, and that'll be how it goes.
Yeah, also, how much did you go back and review what happened this afternoon? Do you kind of try and think about it, especially from Cohen's perspective, in terms of did you go away and learn the lessons? And, he came into this match as a big underdog and no one's really expecting him to win. So just take the positives. You certainly, you very much competed with Tom out there. It looks lopsided at 9-3, but he had his moments, and barring a mistake here and there, it could easily be a couple closer here. 7-5 wouldn't have been outrageous, but probably maybe one closer would have been slightly better.
Well, I mean,
8-4 maybe.
I mean, Cohen's somebody that obviously likes to analyse, obviously because of the fact that he's younger, he's really hyped and really enjoys everything about pool. So I had a good opportunity to speak to him in between the sessions, and I think he analysed it as, like, I would have fancied to take a couple more. I think he wanted 7-5. I think that was his target going into it. And I think, obviously the support circle he's got with Dave Gilbert, Kyle Cope, all of the boys that have kind of trained him up around Swadling Coat area, they've all just kind of told him, go, be a bit more realistic. Like, you're going to struggle, you're going to be nervous, which he was. And, he's learned that now. And, as a quick learner, when you're a bit younger, kind of you process things a little bit quicker. It wouldn't surprise me if it comes out now and, really just goes for it. It's just landed a bit awkward though here.
Yeah, can he get to that cushion? If he can get to that cushion, he's a chance here. Yeah, tried to, but see how wide that throws when you try and inject the pace to get there.
I don't know if he's even got a smidge of this just to be able to kind of flick off it and do something with it. Just flick the red.
Yeah, that could bring the end of the frame. And that is essentially, that happened to Cohen, probably 2, maybe 3 times in the first session where it looked like he was in for a clearance, but there was one bit of work to do and he tried to do it, but maybe a touch too late.
Yeah, I think when you're playing on the TV table for the first...
Oh, my word.
Wow, Tom.
That is a shocker.
Yeah, when you're on the TV for the first time, you kind of feel like you need to get yourself settled in going for clearances. Sometimes, you know, as I say, it's the polar opposite for someone like Tom. As the best player in the world at the moment, you see him constantly taking out the difficult balls early, whereas when you're a bit younger and maybe a bit more kind of unaware of how the TV tables work, you just feel like you've got to wait it out a little bit more, get settled in before you start doing things like that.
It was a poor mistake from Tom, but he didn't give away another opportunity. Tom Cousins is the best in the world at what you're saying about attacking early. I mean, he's the best in the world anyway, but in terms of that is an element where other players wait. He does not wait.
Wow. Wow. I mean, this is...
What are we watching?
This is...
That may be the worst shot I've ever seen Tom Cousins play.
The fact that he hasn't gone in and off there is, to be honest with you, very, very lucky. I can't wrap my head around it as to why he's played it like that. Why not just kind of, like, if you're going to set yourself up for the red, why not just drop it in?
Yeah, was he trying to, did he just get his line wrong? He was trying to get the cue ball to the break line and make the plant that way? I don't know, it was a strange shot, but it's not going to cost him. I'm assuming the way he's gone about this, that the ball by the 8 ball must go top right.
It doesn't look like it from the overhead, but
No,
maybe it does.
But he's got the angle. If he pulls back to the middle of the table, he can play for it left centre. He hasn't, so it must go. Needed to be another 6 inches left if he was going to play for it to the left centre, so
Yeah.
that told us it must go.
It's right in behind it anyway, so even if it has just got a hot pocket, he's fine. What a bizarre first frame.
Strange, but Tom Cousins does win it. He gets himself to double digits, 10-3. He leads. He is still 3 frames away. Best of 25 these matches. I think he's a player that relies so much on touch, and when his touch just goes a touch, then you know the results can then fall off, which I think we've seen happen this year. So I think this tournament benefits Shane as well, because he's such a beautiful player that, you know, a nice good start there for him, good table time. He'll get stronger as the tournament goes on, I believe. He's also coming off the back of the World Championship, so he's had plenty of table time in this version of the game. So could be a good tournament for Shane to get back in the deep run.
Cohen going dry there. Obviously Tom has the opportunity to kill the match off in this frame, but it's not really left Tom a nice opener. So there's going to be work here for him to do. He's going to play this cut on the yellow into the middle pocket, but always just trust into a bit of luck with the white.
The work feels like one shot though, because now everything goes.
Does it though? Does that yellow to the top left pass?
I believe it does. I'm sure it does.
Yeah, I'm going to figure he's going to potentially try and play right behind it now. Or has he just got a bit too much angle? Yeah.
I think it goes so comfortably he doesn't need to worry. I really don't think it's an issue for him. We know Tom. We know if that didn't go, he would have played to move it 3-4 shots ago. Although he had just had a very good look at it, so maybe it is tighter than I'm making out.
Yeah, it just looks on the main camera, doesn't it? Like that red is slightly in the way of it, but he's obviously happy enough with it to sit behind it. Yeah, I think it does. Yeah. Maybe a roll short. He played it with a bunch of kind of drag.
He's so good at killing the cue ball in those situations. Quite amazing.
That is going to be that, isn't it? I mean, yeah, routine 8 ball.
Yeah, this is a result that nobody will be surprised at, but I have to say, quick word for Cohen, he is a star of the future, already making waves in the amateur game, obviously making huge waves in the junior game, and he's just had a day against the best player in the world, and he certainly gave as good as he got for an awful long time, but it is Tom Cousins that moves on.
So important break now for the P.
Not what he was going
nothing doing either. Has Scott got a good finish here? He's got a decent chance on yellows because he can see the one into the right middle.
Yeah, and those reds plant also, so... Yeah, I think yellows is the only ball that really goes here. Anything else he's playing, you know, it's a bit of a wild shot.
Needs that to roll on. I think he's okay.
Has he got the angle where he can slightly punch down?
It would be ideal.
You could just screw back maybe, but you have to land nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good. He's got a little bit of angle on it to use the bottom cushion if he wishes to.
Two that he's going to clear up now. He'd like them as his last two because the black's the easiest to get on then, you know, from them.
Not the biggest fan of that. He tried to run it off with a load of side. Just felt like on this table you could kind of almost punch it with a bit of topspin instead and probably get closer to your target. Yeah, this is a fiddly little one into the middle pocket for Scott.
He's got the natural angle.
Beautiful shot, and he's landed plumb on the yellow that's above the red.
Just drop this one in the middle of the tree and take the one to the left top and then leave himself the natural angle off the one that he's closest to now to get back over for the black. Anywhere around the brown spot on the snooker table. And he's fine.
Yeah, poor couple of balls these for Scott. You just don't want to come too high here, Cormac, do you? And leave yourself near a near straight angle, because otherwise it does make it tough to come out for that 8 ball and land nicely.
Yeah, because then he's punching it across. You just want it to not fall natural.
So that's a slow. That's not bad.
He has to be careful here because this can just die on him slightly with it being a little straighter than he wants. So just make sure he hits it. You see what I was telling you? Just nearly.
Just got there.
Just, yeah.
But you can see it wanted to stop on him, but yeah. Well, Ryan Pisani needed to come out here and do some damage early doors, and as it is, he's not had a chance at the table. Scott Pope has quickly mopped up the first 2 frames and opened up at 9-5 lead. 34 minutes. I mean, in theory, it could go to 12 each, so that would be a 5-3 swing to Pisani. So, maybe.
Yeah, well, if I think if it goes to if it did go to 12 all, I think then there'd be maybe a minute or 2 left on the clock anyway, because the no golden breaks or ducks in play. That'll slow it down a little as well.
Yeah, Scott going dry there has not helped either. Do you know what? Similar pattern actually to the first session. The first kind of break or 2 that Scott made were really, really good, and then it kind of just faded on him a little bit.
He's not got to move a single ball here. The black's fine because the last red to the one over the pocket to the right top can be his ball to get onto it for the left bottom. That's straight away what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's just about circumnavigating these 2 reds at the top just because they're close together. Once you've done that, the frame is at your mercy.
Yeah, personally I would have been moving them bottom 2 straight away and then getting up to the top end because I would have been taking the 8 ball then down to the bottom. But he could be looking at the 8 ball going to the right top, whereas the red's over the pocket. And I just felt there was kind of more security kind of getting on the 8 ball that way. Kind of has to land nice on one of them too, whereas with that it's in the pocket, you know, you can kind of land any angle on it and you can still get down for. He's okay, you can just top this off, top cushion onto the side. Yeah, played that nice considering the swing off it and skidding with the new claw and stuff. Judged it well, because he could have easily underhit that.
little bit too far.
Yeah. He might have to dig into this maybe and bring it back out. Off the side cushion, back out to where it is now roughly. Because if he's dropping it, he's coming away from it. He's coming away from his work. So yeah, I think he's going to dig and bring it back offside.
It's way short here.
I don't like the way he was playing with that bottom cushion, because the natural angle was always to kind of come up the table rather than if you were just screwing out onto the side cushion and out. You were in a massive area where you were on the 8 ball regardless.
Do you know the other thing that sounds quite minimal, but I think it was also a factor? He put the butt on the end of his cue as well, and that just changes the weight slightly. And when you're obviously playing on such a quick table, the most finite difference can make a huge change in how that cue ball reacts. That's a great recovery pot though.
Yeah.
Worked for him last time. Can he make a ball?
He caught them nice, but
It's going dry.
no good. And the yellows here are very nice.
And the split's good. Is all of that work to get back level being undone for Ryan Pisani?
And he can get down straight onto the one on the left bottom. That's the most awkward one, if you want to call it.
Oh, that's a bad opener from Scott though. I think
He's just made life awkward now.
I think he's completely killed that yellow as well. I don't think it goes into any of the pockets.
It goes to the it goes to the corner in the middle that he's on the side of, but he can't take it right now.
Oh, and he's missed the yellow. Yeah, you can see frustration there.
Tip of the cue as well. Yeah, you can see who's in the driving seat now.
I think he knew that was a big opportunity, because it was.
Well, yeah, momentum's with Ryan here. Just going by that.
Okay, you've taken the frame to go 10-9 in front, but then you've got to double down. It's not in a format like this where you're both at the tail end and you're both close. Every opportunity you've got to take. Okay, Ryan's probably not in a position to clear up here, but Scott would not have wanted to let him get to the table.
No, he shouldn't have been letting him get to the table, to be quite honest, with the layout that he had. But
White ball.
there's no such thing as gimmies. There can actually be more pressure on the easier to finish at big moments in games, because you're like, I can't miss these. It's just a lose-lose.
Poor first positional from Ryan though. He's slowly digging a bit of a hole here, unless he's going to take the long red now along the cushion, which would be a big shot in the frame. Yeah, he's got 2 reds now on cushions. The 8 ball covered by the yellow to the bottom right. The red to the top left has a bit of coverage on it, so needs to be landed on properly. So work. Where'll be looking? He doesn't want to run out of time either. First time we've seen really either player rush by the time clock a little bit.
Could be absolutely perfect on that red now. Just try hold, see it'll push through now.
I could just see it.
Oh, he's in bottom now.
This is now.
Scott's gotten a lifeline, I think.
I mean, where do you go from here? Do you maybe? It sounds audacious, but do you actually fancy taking the cut on the red along the bottom cushion now, trying to cover a pocket, and potentially you could go to top and bottom cushion and maybe do something on the cannon on the right hand side? It sounds audacious, but
What's he playing? Not
he was-
too sure what that was.
I think he was trying to sit the white on the yellow to force Scott to take the one over the pocket first.
I think he's just rushed the shot through panic and having a few seconds left on the clock. To be honest, I think he's just gotten down and just hit it. Yeah, he can do that, yeah.
Still not the easiest
He can go
finish.
straight into the problem ball now, because he's left the yellow to the right bottom. if he catches it full, so he's got a shot, I would be going into this right now.
Great shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I would have just stunned over the table, but so he's gotten the result. See, because the white was always holding, you know what I mean, for the right bottom yellow. With that, it was whipping around with it. Topping it on. Ooh, does he want to drop? See, now, because the black's in the... Sorry, the 8-ball's in the way. Yeah, he can't just get on this straight forward, really. He's going to be leaving himself an angle.
I think you just got to leave yourself as straight as possible and just really kill the white ball when you play it. He's trying to get close.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it?
The bottom yellow actually went also, so he was always okay there.
Yeah, and this has been a big visit from Scott Pope. A little bit fortunate, but you could see that the focus level just went up a little bit in this frame from Scott. That first opportunity he knew he should have taken out first time, didn't do it, and he knew he's got away with one.
On the chase, you know.
It's a good break from Ryan. How's the split?
Pretty alright.
Pretty good.
Yeah, yellow's here for me.
Yeah.
Drops a little into the middle, just touch into the red in the middle of the table. And just work his way down. Last yellow on the left bottom for the black into the middle if it doesn't go past that red.
Yellow ball's in play.
It's the only thing for Ryan. He just doesn't want to rush getting caught out by the time clock. He has come close a couple of times. Yeah, we are into that 15-second stage. Obviously, 10 minutes remaining. There we go, yeah. Quite as he intended.
I thought
he wasn't down on the shot on 5 seconds, was he? And you could see he kind of jump round.
I don't know if that 8-ball goes to the bottom or not. It must do.
Yeah. Well, I don't
Unless
know.
he's just
Yeah, has he just
punching
settled
it
here?
back for the middle. Yeah, I think he's coming back for the middle.
Very good. Yeah, very good finish from Ryan Pisani, this. And they still can't be separated, 11 apiece. This is huge now. Minute
Right.
20 on the clock.
Ryan
Scott
will-
Pope, you need to make a ball.
Ryan will be praying for an off or a dry here. He'll leap out of the chair.
He put everything into that.
Ooh. Oh, it's dry.
And he's dry. Ryan Pisani, you've got 1 minute 20 to
And they're on here.
pull off one of the most unbelievable
Right in the
finishes.
middle. Yeah, just tip off it. Yeah. Knock the other one up to the top now.
Oh, he's out of position.
Oh, get a move on here. He
He's
doesn't have much
hampered.
time.
He needs to speed up here.
I don't think Scott's gonna take him out if he gets to the 10. That's a good shot.
Great shot. 45
It's on
seconds.
here. No, take the other one. Oh, no, what's he doing?
Oh, Ryan, you need to make your mind up. He can can make this, but he needs to get down. He needs to stop running around the looking around the table.
He's okay.
He needs to just get down and pot these. No more thinking, no more looking around the table.
The time's going to go close here.
Yeah,
I don't think he has
I
the
think
time.
he's going to run out of time.
Oh,
he's missed.
Oh, it's a 6 red.
Oh my goodness.
It's a 6 red. You're a million.
There's been nothing to separate the two the whole match. We said it would be fitting of a decider.
Imagine that black one then.
Yeah.
Walloping it around. That would have been a horrible way to lose.
Here we go.
How does he hit them? Pretty good.
Pretty good.
That's a great split. Yeah, he's in for a very good time here now.
Oh, he's just overrun that. He's not bad.
He's okay.
Did he go in the middle? Yeah.
22, 23. How good he? Oh, it's run a bit. Oh, it's travelling. Oh, it's travelling.
He's okay. To slow down.
He's okay.
Make sure of the pot.
On the button. Yeah, pretty much.
20, 25 and a half. Here we go. The split's not as good.
No, but he's okay.
He needs to speed up a little bit.
He's alright here. This could go very close.
Oh.
This could go very close. Oh, he has to. Can't miss.
I think he's good here.
Oh, it's gonna go close. Oh,
I think he's got it.
He's just got it.
I think he's got it.
Wow, that couldn't have went any closer in terms of a game, could it?
Break again. It is fabulous.
Oh, man, that's...
Oh, he's still not got the clean cut. Still not got the clean cut chance. Yeah, that's the Rice smile. He's almost made too many balls here. You don't expect to have an absolute roadmap of a finish, but he's got work with not too many balls to do the work.
I wonder if he can play this one into the left corner and leave himself an angle on the one in the middle to kind of banana into it.
Problem with that is he's all eggs in one basket. But he probably has to do that.
I almost don't mind it because it's...
Can he play red into cushion off the yellow in, open up the pocket for the other one so he sort of goes about it in a cleaner way?
Do you know what? On the overhead, it does actually look a realistic shot. Yeah, no.
I think he's going with your option. He doesn't have to banana it, I don't think. I think he can play this natural. Miss the first red, catch the next one half ball, and he'll be on a choice of 2 balls. No?
He's decided for neither. I don't quite know what he's gone for there. Is he just waiting it and doing your shot with the next one? I don't.
He must have been playing on the shot I was calling, and he's just overhit it. He must have been playing on that.
He's a long way out.
There's no way you play for right centre.
Yeah, no. Right centre is your buffer ball. You don't want to be taking this now, but he's forced into it.
So now he has to play the shot that I talked about, whilst getting on the other one, which adds to the tariff off it quite significantly.
Well, once again, he's just gonna have to leave himself a double with it. He's not really got much of an option. It's a good pot. Now needs a good double.
How easy you played that. How poor was the shot into the left centre 2 shots ago, 3 shots ago?
Oh yeah.
Because all he had to do was drop it in, and he's got that shot. And now he'd be on right centre to get across the table. That was such a poor shot when he was coming up the table. He had about 1.5 foot to land in, and he went too far.
Has he got it? No. I mean, the white ball was nowhere anywhere, even if he got it in. The only thing is, though, here for Mike, there's not really a place to hide. I don't know if he's got the option actually, just where he's got the black and the yellow. If he could maybe just use the yellow that's kind of towards kind of the black ball spot on a snooker table, and just open up the 2 yellows, run the white through. Because I don't think from that position John will be able to cut the red, but at the same time I don't think it gives him the top cushion option either, so that might be the shot. Just use this yellow to open up the other 2. A bit like that, but doing it that way just gives John the option to play that shot with a bit of right hand side.
Does this go?
Yeah, I think it does.
If it goes to the corner, then it's a dead weight pot.
Oh, to the corner. Sorry,
Yeah.
my apologies.
I think that's what he was looking at, because he doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball. He can drag it in. Has he got to play your shot and come off the top cushion? I think he has.
I think even if he's got that, yeah, I'll be honest with you. I feel like Mike's got away with one there because he was always leaving that top cushion the way that he played it.
Worst way, yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
If he played that shot to open up the balls and runs through and leaves the white this side of the table, he's got the blockers of the 8 ball and the yellow.
And he wouldn't be able to do anything with it because he couldn't play natural because he'd go in off from wide. So yeah, I think it was a poor choice of shot from Mike, and he's got away with it. Now he can go and win the frame though. A frame he absolutely needs to get as well.
That's a poor opener. Probably wanted to land on the one to the middle first. It's got a good angle here, so just needs to adjust this bit of right hand side on this, just bring it over. He's lucky with a flick on the 8. He's overrun that otherwise.
I can only assume he thought he was getting the full ball cannon on the 8 ball. Stay on the right hand one of the two.
Possibly.
Because he wouldn't play to skim off it, and he absolutely overhit the shot by quite a way.
Yeah, just drop this in and play the yellow into the right middle, I don't. This is just another one to note down in the pen pad as another one that got away from John.
Yeah, it's another one that he knows he should have won.
Got into that a little bit too much. It's okay, he can just use the left hand side cushion just above the middle just to come on and off. I mean, got to back your cue in a little bit more than that. That's so negative just to kind of drop it in almost. Leaving yourself near the cushion is poor.
Yeah, because the problem is, it's 8 ball now.
I mean, this is horrible. You've got an in off.
I think he's
take it
playing the
to
double.
middle. He's got it. Oh, he's not got it.
That's what, the second time in this session that he's done that now. Not managed to get the final positional shot right when it looked quite simple.
Yeah, it's criminal, really, isn't it? If Mike looks back on this, he'll be absolutely kicking himself because, I mean, I know that the ability of Mike is a lot higher than this. John just opts into play safe there.
Killing a few seconds at the same time. 7 minutes is a long time to make the run for the line on the clock, but if he wins this frame in the next 2-3 minutes, he's all but over the line. No golden breaks, remember.
That's an effort. Unlucky.
When it hit that first cushion, the second cushion, Mike thought he had it. You could tell by his reaction. I think John will play safe again.
Yeah,
I don't blame him this time. Bottom cushion and just get the snooker. Because of the 8 ball going up on the cushion and by that red, it's just no, I mean, middle of the match, you probably take it on.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just been that kind of match, hasn't it? John just doesn't need to go for it anymore because it's the way that the match is laid out. To be honest with you, even if he got out of this frame with 5 minutes left, I wouldn't back another frame to be played.
It's been that sort of match, isn't it? Yeah, we're approaching 100 minutes of action for
and
14
frames.
frames.
14 frames. What's that, averaging one, maybe 7-8 minutes, something like that? To put it into context, I mean, the end of the Melling game earlier on was probably 1 every 3 minutes, something like that. So
yeah, and yeah, they went over, didn't they? In the frame went past the 50, so we are really right on that 100-minute mark. I know there's 5:40 left here, but we're probably at about 97, 98 minutes now. It's for 15 frames a ball it will be if John clears up here.
And I think this is going to be the end of the road for Mike, isn't it? 9-6. You can't see a way back with 5 minutes remaining.
Not the way the match has gone. Not without golden breaks in play. Yes, you can make 3 finishes in this time, but I mean, we've had 100 minutes of action and we've seen 1 each off the break. Maybe did Mike have 2 at the start? For the last 12 months. Some second round match that.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a good opportunity now for Mike just to loosen his arm and just show us what he can do. You know, it's been tough running out there today. He's had his opportunities, not taken them. You know, as we said before, with the kind of Scott and Ryan game, it's the pressure of the cauldron sometimes that makes you do weird things at times. That's a great shot. So it'd just be nice for him to go out on a high, just to give him something to look back at and build on. It's another nice shot. I think he can just slip past. Yellow on the left-hand side. Can. And he's actually in a really good position here. He can play the one into the middle pocket now. Just roll through. Yeah. And then he's going to play this one into the corner and he's going to just kind of find the gap between the 8 and the red. Oh, Mike.
And he's going to concede. He knows.
It was a brilliant finish to then as well.
Yeah, but he knew the race was up. He knew he couldn't turn it around. He was just trying to have a bit of fun at the end. John Rowe, one way or another, he has got the job done.
Yellow balls in play.
Chance goes. Ran into trouble early. Quite where Scott wanted to be. Going to have to find another route. It's going to be a tricky 8-ball, but the way he started this match, you sort of expect him to make it. Very good. Scott Gillespie is here to play.
But then he's got to deal with the Scott Gillespie break next, which
is huge.
Is huge. So you've not lost one frame in doing that, making that mistake. You've likely lost 2.
One shot to play for Scott Gillespie. Long red to the corner. And that's pretty much the frame. I guess the 2 into the right centre, just need to make sure the top one goes, but actually, in further review, the red to left centre is guarded as well. This is fiddlier than I first thought it was going to be. I still think it needs to be reds, and the red top right is your starter.
Yeah, you got to take the big shot early.
He's going yellows. I guess yellows, if he could clip this one past the red. Yeah, the argument for yellows is probably not. It's not too far away from the reds, because you've got the 2 on the left-hand side, but the bottom 1 and the 2 does go. And once that's done, then yellows are easier. So
yeah.
If he takes the red to top right corner, and he's then on the red to right centre, but hard to get on the other red to right centre, he could almost knock it safe, and then he's got to hit a gap, and then he's got to track the top of the table. So it was going to be 3 or 4 really good shots on the trot on reds, whereas yellows, it's about landing on 1 ball. And I think a really good choice on further review.
That happy with his angle. Don't know if he wanted to land a little bit higher and maybe go into them. I don't know if that was his intention, but
it was never good to leave the 2 on the left-hand side as your last 2 balls, because they don't connect together.
Yeah, he's tried to force it. Yeah,
I'm not surprised to see that, because they were not good to. You could have played position on the bottom one, but then what you then moving a ball that you need to land on.
Yeah, to be honest with you though, Si, I didn't mind him leaving himself. If he landed fairly straight on the yellow to the bottom and could screw into it, then even if you don't quite land on it to the middle, you're going to have a shot on it to the corner. Whereas playing the way he has, he never even guaranteed the initial shot, which is exactly what happened. He's played a good snooker there. But as I say, maybe it's just the way that Scott's seen it. But I just felt like you gave yourself a little bit more chance going the other way. But and Lakash has just missed them all together. That's poor. Whatever you do, make contact. You've kind of just gifted the frame to Scott now, which is a shame. Because if you come off that bottom cushion, make contact with the reds, and then hit the cushion, you don't give Scott a natural angle to land on the one on the cushion. But
It's another let-off for Scott Gillespie. He started this match strongly, but just not quite taking the last couple out, and he's still going to win them.
It's just so easy just to fall into that, isn't it? That when you're playing really well, just to lose a bit of momentum and then have a couple of frames where you're in a bit of a lull. But he has still done the business, and he is going to open up a 3-frame lead. So you think that we'll see those players, the players that were at the Worlds, potentially go deeper?
No, I think it's more, for me, it's Shane in particular. I think he's obviously now following the same suit as a few players are, that are mixing the games, and he hasn't dealt with it as well as others. He's lost his form for a while, and the results haven't been there this year. He's barely won a match on Alton Pool this year, in honesty.
Yeah.
But I think the run at the Worlds has given him a time to really be bedded into this version of the game again, and this is coming off the back of that. I think he'll be in as good a form as we'll have seen him all year long.
It was really interesting at the last Pro Series, actually, and the game that sticks in my mind actually was him against Jake McCartney. And the reason for that was obviously because we hadn't seen Jake in so long, and also because of the lull in form that Shane had as well. It was one of those matches. That's a bad miss from Scott. But just going back to the point, it was a weird game, because it was probably a game that in the first 2 years of Ultimate you would have said would have been, a top 10 player against a top 10 player. But because of their circumstances, I mean, over the last couple of years, Shane's rankings, maybe put him top 30.
Well, he's really fallen down, isn't he?
And, for Jake, obviously, having not been here for a while, we didn't know what we were coming into.
Shane's down at 23.
See, that's
rankings.
See, Shane on form is top 8 every day of the week. Where's Scott just sitting at the moment, out of curiosity?
13th. He's always been there or thereabouts. He's been around that sort of 16 to 20, which is too low for Scott Gillespie.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been anywhere near the player he was until, fairly recent. Until he won, even when he won the Masters, rather, he still hadn't hit the heights of form that he showed for 4 or 5 years pre-COVID. But I believe that form is really starting to return. That belief is starting to return. And the big change for me was Scott Gillespie was so out of form and out of touch that his patterns disappeared. He was causing himself all sorts of issues, and now that you saw it at the British Open, his authority and his patterns returned, and he wasn't having. He's always been a big shot maker, but he wasn't having to make as many big shots.
So maybe looking at playing the skill shot here.
Does he need to? Does it not slide in? Might not. I don't think. I was working on the assumption that it did, but maybe it doesn't.
Wow.
That's a mile away.
I was going to say, I'm a little bit surprised he took that on. That's pretty high tariff. But
when he was getting down it, I just thought he was trying to cut it in and get that one out of the way. I wonder if he's taken that shot on. Is that a sign that Lukesh has not been putting enough pressure on him, that he's freed up enough to play that shot?
Similar to Chris earlier on, I think it might have been.
Maybe not quite the same way, because it's only 6'2" here, but more the fact that there is just that element of freedom that maybe Lukesh, he feels that it was the right shot for him to make the clearance, but also as high tariff as it was, that he might get back to the table if it doesn't work out.
It sounds a bit bizarre to say, but if Scott was 6'2" up on someone like Deck Brennan, you're never going to take a shot on like that. Yeah. But the difference between someone like Deck Brennan and someone like Lukesh is Deck could turn around and just fire in 4 frames in a row and be back level with you in a click of fingers. But with someone like Lukesh, you're probably more likely to have kind of bit part displays where he's good for a frame or two and then zones out again and then has a couple more good frames. So Scott having that 4-frame advantage, he maybe feels that if he does take that one extra, he won't get pipped all the way back, that Lukesh might get a couple back on him but then lose that momentum again.
Agreed. Interesting you mentioned Declan Brennan, because that could well be the next opponent for Scott Gillespie. Of course, Scott's a long way from winning this match, and Declan Brennan's very much a long way from winning his match, but he's currently 4-3 up on Sean Sharkey.
That's another good game for me in that draw. obviously Sean's come off the back of a decent week, hasn't he, really, with the pairs cut with Ben. And
Yeah.
I think he's another player that I'd love to see more of this year. I think Sean's, I mean, I've seen Sean at his absolute best, and I can tell you that he could mix it with anyone. The Mellons, the Cousins, you know, he dishes out so many frames. But
What a fabulous pot that was from Lakesh. He's very fortunate to keep the cube on the table, though, and not a great outcome.
yeah, I didn't see that pot coming, but oh, he's getting out. I mean, this is some finish.
Yeah, he's not not too much control, but he is going to get out.
Yeah.
How about those 2 pots back to back?
Yeah, make sure of it, Lakesh. Yeah, great finish.
Balance and break. Trailing 7 frames.
Big frame. And we will see it to its conclusion. You notice the match clock has gone. We're starting this frame. Therefore we will
no.
finish it.
Lost control of the white. It was a bit wild. And it's gone just where you don't want it to. Straight in the middle. And this is golden opportunity for Scott. He's just seeing if this yellow passes the 8 into the bottom left. If it does, then it's routine.
Extension called.
Does need to make his mind up though. Oh, he was close there. I thought he was going to call for the extension at one point, but opted against it. He's actually just on a slightly off angle here, so just wants to control this. Yeah, and that's all stemmed from rushing the first shot.
You see Lakesh as well. He got all of a sudden got very interested.
And he's not got a nice angle here to come back for the one into the right middle either, because that red plays big. So he's going for a more tricky cut here. This is a tough pot. He's navigated it well, but he's still not perfect, because he's now hampered by the same red that he was trying to avoid. Oh, that's very good though. Has he just been a little bit unlucky? I think it's just gone to roll too far for him. At one point it looked like he was actually going to be plumb on it, and even have the opportunity to maybe take it into the right middle with a touch aside, but where he's landed there, it's going to force him to take the thin cut along the cushion. So this white ball is going to be on the move. He killed that really well.
What a shot that is.
I mean, how much angle did he have on that?
This is still tight. You can tell by the way he's looking at it, but at least he has the perfect angle on it.
His pockets will slide in, but he just knocks it right in the centre.
A big last 2 frames here for Scott Gillespie. Controlled this session from start to finish, and you would have feared it was going to get away from him at the end, and he wasn't going to have the advantage that he feels like he will have deserved. And you can see by his reaction there, it may only be session 1, but he's 8-4 in front. And a very solid session indeed.
It's another big break, but nothing doing for John. See that split there. Explodes the pack again, but just got in the way of each other. That's going to bring Phil to a bit of an awkward layout.
Extension call. Yellow ball's in play.
May he decide to attack that yellow now? Yeah, he's just looked at it. Ideally want to get it out of the way as soon as possible, and if he attacks it here, he'd be a little bit unlucky not to land on any of the yellows that he's got around, whether that's the one on the top cushion, the one over the right corner, or the one over the bottom right corner. It's not bad. Okay, he's only got it to the one pocket, maybe two, but I think he'll take it, especially if he's got the yellow to the bottom right. Well played. He wanted to try and hold for the yellow on the top cushion, and he's just about achieved it. And from here, Phil should be home and hosed. Well, I don't really understand why he had to stun that. Okay, maybe it was a little bit more preferable to have a bit more angle, but I felt like if he just left the white where the yellow was, he still could have pushed through that red. As it is, John now with the opportunity to get one back, get a steal. He's not played the best opener. That's a lovely shot. Just opened up that red. Just makes his work at the top a lot easier. Now the only thing that could go wrong is landing on the 8 ball. Has he overrun it? I think he's okay. Yeah, and this will go down as a steal for John McAllister. Phil had a golden opportunity and just decided that he needed to get a bit further with that white ball.
We're tracking the halfway point in this session. Just the 4 frames played, and yet, you know, you feel like John's kind of made that mistake, and that's cost him the frame, obviously. But only 4 frames played in just over 20 minutes. I've talked about that with John a lot. He can get himself in that rhythm where he's taking quite a lot of the 30 seconds per shot, and it can kill quite a lot of the match, and that can have a negative effect towards the back end.
Extension called.
reason John's ended up in so many 6-red shootouts in his time with Ultimate Ball is simply because of that little bit of extra time he takes on the shot. He likes to stay in his own rhythm, and Phil's not the quickest as well. It'll be interesting to see whether we do get to 12 frames played in this session, even if it ends up being a really high standard from here.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we will. I think they'll, especially if it goes close, because I feel like the two of them will both pick up the pace trying to get over the winning line. It's if one of them runs away with it a little bit more. I feel like, to be honest, I think in that circumstance, I almost feel like John would slow down. I feel like Phil may also do the same if he goes 3-4 ahead. Just because obviously if they speed up, then it's going to put more emphasis on their opponents to speed up, which in turn would obviously mean that they're back in the match with the time remaining.
Not everyone can play at the pace of Jordan Shepherd or a Chris Melling, and you've got to do what's right for you to be able to play at the highest level. Definitely something to, for all players really to be mindful of in timed match eras. This is a 25 frame match, but essentially they've got 2 50-minute sessions to play that in.
Well, you've kind of got two forms of player, haven't you, in the Ultimate Circuit as an overall, if you were putting it as a field. You've got your Jordan Shepherds, your Christy Caulfields, Chris Mellins, maybe even put Sean Story in that category, that are brilliant at the buzzer beaters, brilliant at picking up the pace when they need to, are very avid. And then you've got the other side of it, where you've got Phil Harrison's, John McAllister's, Stevie Dempsey's, that are brilliant in time management and won't probably sprint out a 7-8-0 winner, but what they will do is when it gets to those tetchy parts of the clock, they'll know when to spend their 30 seconds, they'll know when to speed up, and they've got that ability to do both. It's important for John here actually to gain a little bit of momentum again as well.
Jeez. Oh no. Oh my word. That's very unlucky.
How criminal is that?
What an opportunity this is for Phil to go 3 back-to-back. Well, it'll be 4 back-to-back, but 3 off the break on the trot in about, 6 or 7 minutes of play.
Yeah.
That would be quality.
Just watching that break back was horrible. You just see the way that the spin took it in as well.
Red ball's in play.
Not really anything in the way here. It's Phil Harrison though. He's never happy. He's just off straight the wrong way. That's not really a problem from where he is. He has a ball to play on. I suspect he wanted, and the reason he is shaking his head, is he wanted to deal with both balls in the middle of the table before he gets on the one just above the 8 ball there, which he can now do. But he's tracked across to this side of it. This is ball in hand perfect.
Phil could win £1 million tomorrow and be disappointed they missed a tenner off of it. That's it. It's exactly what he's like.
Yeah, it meant he had to top through with just a trace aside rather than stun behind it. It's actually, we talked about pace of play a lot since come on, but he used to do that a lot more. He's managed to really limit himself and realise we're in a 30-second a shot era, and especially at 15 seconds a shot, he can't afford the time to do that. You've just got to, it's happened right, next decision, move on.
Yeah, he's just more brisk now, isn't he? Beforehand it was very calculated, very methodical, which it still is, but it's almost like he's now in kind of a hybrid mode where he can switch and then go into this quick, fast playing mode where his brain's able to keep up with it a little bit more. I mean, obviously the most notable mistake I remember Phil making from memory was when he played Stevie Dempsey and he time fouled right at the end of that match.
Yeah, big error.
If you keep letting him off the leash like that. That's a great split. Has he got an opening red?
Yeah, he does. I think he does. Or maybe he doesn't. Got an opening yellow. Yellows are fine as well. Although say he's got no mini yellow. He can pop one, but it's really awkward.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I feel like the reds are the ones that he wants, but yeah, you can see the little.
I think can he get to the centre of the white to go bottom right? Yellow. If he can, it's fine. If he has to raise the butt of the cue, it's a problem. You see there, I thought there was chances, but look, he has to. This is the best chance he's got, the best shot he's got.
This is horrible. But this is Phil Harrison.
Yeah, that was very good.
Yellow ball's in play.
And one thing I will give a compliment to Phil here for is he looks right up for the fight tonight. Sometimes you can get a bit of Phil Harrison where he maybe looks a little bit wayward, but you can just tell that the energy's up tonight. It's another great shot. It's all going to be about that yellow on the left-hand side cushion, isn't it? There's a couple of little transitional positional shots he's going to have to play just to get down the other end of the table for them.
Oh, he's used his extension. He's going to have to get on with it now. Because of where he was first shot, it's just not allowed him to find the pattern he wanted. He's going to have a problem getting on the last yellow nicely from here. He's a little bit short on that previous shot. If he gets straight in on the yellow top left, then he can pick his angle on the yellow down the table. Now he can only get off angle. If he's got enough angle, he'll make the case to come down and try and take that yellow into a different pocket rather than rolling into the red. Yeah, that's what he's tried to do. He's a touch short.
It's not too bad though, because he can just utilise the bottom cushion and come up again and make sure he's got a shot. That 8-ball's nicely out in the open. He can opt to go this way. I don't know if I like this though, just because he's got to be good with his cue ball. Don't know why I said it really, he's absolutely perfect. This has been a very good response from Phil Harrison, it's got to be said. Shown what a fighter he is out there, and this is going to go all the way. 6 apiece after the first session.
Yeah, what a session of pool that is. So enjoyable from start to end. Really feel the emotion through every single ball in that session, and we are locked all square at 6-6. 8-6 he leads. Christophe Lambert 7-5. Could come back that from Luke Sandri. He was trailing a fair bit in that match. Gets it back to 7-5. Liam White 9-7 up over Andy Williams. Just Day and Clayton Castaldi still locked at 6s, as are Ian Alley and Leo Fernandez. That's the top half of the draw. We'll run through the bottom half shortly. Let's focus on this frame for a little while though and see what form Lukesh is going to show for us in this session. He needs to show plenty if he wants to get back into the match. And that's not the best of first shots. Trying to bend it round and take yellows. Could not have gone worse for him.
Yeah, ball in hand. That ball's in play.
good angle just to track the top of the table. There's a little bit more room for the red at the top than it looks. Anywhere above the right centre pocket, he should be fine. You won't want to get all the way up there because you want angle to be able to get back out. So just above the right centre would be good, or get all the way to the top of the table. Centre pocket is all he needed. Track back on the same line and 8 ball bottom left.
Extension called.
Well, that was a poor shot from Scott. Can he dig himself out? Can he dig himself out? Of course he can. It's the defending champion. And that one will hurt Lukesh. He would have thought, oh, I might get a sniff. I might get a chance. What a shot that is from Scott Gillespie. Likely to be for us on the TV table. We have one session to come after this, the conclusion of Phil Harrison and John McAllister, which will return pretty soon after this match, which could well be over on this visit to the table. Tricky opening ball, not just the pot, he does just need to get the cue ball right. If he gets this shot right though, the yellows will be routine. And of course he gets it right, like such a
Yellow
level.
ball's in play.
He's not going to hang about as well. What a session here. I mean, he's 4 frames in 13 minutes, just under. He could wrap this up 5 frames in, well, 14 minutes or so. Under 14 minutes. What a session from Scott Gillespie. He's in a rush to make it into the last 32. And the defending champion is into day 2. 2 brilliant performances from Scott Gillespie. Second session was all but flawless. Lukesh Badhan had 1 shot in the second session of the match. That was brilliant from the former world champion.
It's not scrappy. It's not great. Yeah, you could just see in Phil's face there that you just see that the balls kind of come together on that left-hand side again towards the end of that clip. He's got developing balls, but it's not a case that it's just one issue, it's a couple of issues, which obviously adds to the tariff of the finish. He's going to want to take yellows. As he can't hear. quite sure where he intended to land.
I think he's going to have to rely on getting them both out and land on one.
I just wonder, Josh, could he potentially land on the double, on the yellow closest to the cushion, and try and develop the other one at the same time?
He potentially played this off the other yellow and cannon them out.
Well, he forced that, didn't he? If anything, he's actually hit it
Gone
too
too
well.
far.
Yeah. It almost seemed impossible to do that in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, he's quite unlucky, really. He may have to. I mean, he's going to have to leave those two till last now, but what you might have to do with this now is try and just screw the white through the gap, or even if he just flicks off the yellow, just give himself that nice angle. The yellow to the bottom right. Exactly like that.
He's always got a double, but still getting on it.
Yeah, he's going to want to come low, isn't he? Because if you come a bit too straight on it, you're not going to be able to hit the yellow out. Unless you very perfectly play a cannon on the red to play the yellow into the same pocket. Yeah, so it deliberately comes low. This is a big, big shot now. How are you attacking this, Josh? Are you kind of just playing it with the side, quite plain ball? Are you pumping it a little bit more?
I think I'm just cannon into the red and see where you land. He's played that well.
I was going to say, you could
Just like that.
yeah, exactly. Like, you couldn't land much better than that. Oh, great opportunity for Phil now. You just couldn't have put it better with your hand, could you? You just got to top this through. He's not happy with it, is he? Well, he's got to be quick though.
Changed his mind.
Oh, he's got caught out by the time. Can he pot it off the red in the middle? Oh, this is the only catch with Phil sometimes. It's just sometimes he loses track of that timer. I think he's okay. For the frame.
He had to play it off the red.
That's a great shot from Phil. Phil on the break, 8-7 ahead. The one thing I would say about this match so far is it feels like they're getting the... You know how like you get a break of serve in tennis? It's a bit like that, but almost the other way round at the moment, where it feels like they keep reverse dishing each other.
Yeah.
And it's whoever gets their own break and dish that's actually going to push on and win.
It certainly looks like a match that's going to go the whole way.
We've had a couple of those today. And obviously the Scott Pope one earlier on was a huge match that
I did catch the end of that.
was, to be honest with you, Josh, absolute carnage to commentate on. But at the same time, this one could end up going the same way, but actually just being of really high quality and, you know, potentially no error pool in hindsight. It's been less than probably 3 mistakes made in 15 frames, which is pretty good going. There's still the potential that we could end up going to 6 red here. I mean, the closer that it goes between the two of them, the more the clock ticks down, and the more potentially it could actually see each player make a mistake or two. That also adds to that time clock. So
It's 30 seconds the whole way through, or?
no. So now that it is 30 seconds for the first session. When we reach this second session now, when we get to the last 10 minutes, it then goes into a 15-second shot clock. So kind of back to the normal format, should we have it.
Last 10 minutes of carnage.
The last 10 minutes of carnage, absolutely spot on. And to be honest with you, with Phil Harrison at the table, you could almost expect it. obviously at that point, you know, whereas in the first session, if the time comes to about 30 seconds and they finish a frame, previously in that first session they then would have played another frame to kind of wrap things up. In this situation, that's not the case. If there's 30 seconds left, there's 30 seconds left. They try and clear up. If they don't make it, it potentially goes to a 6 red if they're tied. If not, the result goes of the way of the person that's ahead at the time. So,
Saw that in the Pisani match where both players were just running around the table like lunatics trying to clear up.
well, yeah, I mean, in all fairness to Ryan, I mean, he had a minute 20 on the clock and he had a golden opportunity to clear up, and just, to be honest,
too mudd time.
Yeah, to be honest with you, he just thought he had a bit more time than he did, I think, in hindsight. And then Scott came to the table with about 18 seconds left, 7 balls to clear. And in all fairness, he did well to pot 3 or 4 of them, but you know, it's just never really going to happen for Scott from that point on. And he had his golden opportunity to wrap it up in the match, in the frame before, and didn't do it. And that's what happens, you know. In the end, I mean, in that 6 red, I think there was less than half a second to separate the two of them.
It wasn't long.
Is it going to be half a second that separates these two as well? Because
Going back and forth currently.
Phil,
Ball in hand for ball.
That's exactly what John would want.
they just can't get away from each other, can they? I don't know. Every time one of them looks like they're just going to gain the momentum over the other, something happens that just drags it back away from them again. John has got a really presentable opportunity here.
Yellows. Yellow ball nominate. Yellow ball's in play.
See Dom Cooney and Ollie Bell's gone all the way. It's 12 all at the minute.
Yeah, we've got some matches that have wrapped up as well, actually, in here. Christophe Lambert wins 13-5 against Luke Sanges. Liam White beat Andy Williams on 6 red, seemingly. Shane Thompson has only dropped 1 frame all weekend. He won 13-1 and now he's won 13-0 against Andy Millard.
Yeah, I spoke to him earlier. He wasn't happy that he didn't win his first match 13-0.
I wish we all had that problem, don't you? A man that's just been in the room, Declan Brennan, wrapped up a 13-5 win over Sean Sharkey. That is a great result for Declan. Sean is a real trip-up herder win there this year.
Carl managed to get the win in the end as well, 13-10 against Chris Alexander.
Josh Kane beat Connor Tracy. Big result for Josh, coming from behind. And Jake Dillon Newlove beat Jez Graham. So Jake the Giant Destroyer on another run. And Tom Cousins eventually nullified Cole Bedford 13-6. It would have been very Cole Bedford to come back from millions of miles away. But Tom has eliminated the man from Wales.
Next in call.
It's a big visit now for John. And he's got these yellows pretty much where he wants them. Just a question of which way you go to land on the 8 ball, I think. Yeah, so he's going to take this one. So his final ball is going to be the one that's just slightly further out. And it's just identifying how you get there. Yeah. But at this point in play, do you risk the cannon a little bit? You know, is there a chance that you could slip behind something? I don't know. But
He's got to catch it right, otherwise the red's going to sit on the black.
so maybe just aim for the right-hand side of the red. Decided against it. Don't blame him. But I'm just,
Cannon you don't really need to play. The black goes in the top left.
yeah, that's the way I was always thinking he was going to play it, but just got to make sure he gets this shot right, because if you don't land behind this, you're going to have an awkward little cut. I mean, you couldn't play that
About
any
there?
better. Yeah, I think maybe a millimetre to the left. I mean, that's a joke, isn't it? For 10-all. Brilliant finish from John McAllister there.
Yeah, you just get given a chance you shouldn't have had.
I mean, this is one for obviously some of the maybe under 25s players that are watching along, but Josh, you may remember this one actually. It was a good mate of ours in Ross Smith that played a little while ago against Adam Stevens, and he was a
It's going
lot.
off.
Ball landing front box.
That's harsh. He was kicked in off. Oh, he was going towards the jaw. He was going towards the pocket anyway, so you can kind of half expect it, but he's still unlucky.
Station call.
Just reverting back to that point, we're talking about comebacks from places it shouldn't happen, and as I say, you'll kind of remember this. It was Ross Smith, wasn't it? And he was 8-1 down against somebody in the under 25s tour a little while ago.
Yellow balls in play.
His opponent just missed an easy chance, and he ended up going on and winning that 11-10, which obviously is a monumental comeback in the grand scheme of things, but it just shows that every so often that little mistake just causes a player to crumble, and it happens. John's got these yellows exactly where he wants them though. He's got a good angle here. If he wants to play the cannon into the red that's between the two yellows.
Just get the red out of the way.
May even play into the yellow, but he's played the red
It's a good shot.
perfectly. And now this is at its mercy, because he can get to the bottom of the yellow. We'll see if he goes to the centre of it. Yeah, and this is now fairly dot to dot. And I think, Josh, it's fair to say that I think this match has lived up to the billing of it.
Certainly has.
Two world-class pool players have gone head-to-head. It's swayed, it's throwed from left to right. John initially started ahead. Phil came back, levelled the session at 6 apiece. Phil did the early bidding in this session, barring any major mistakes. It's going to be the 2019 world champion John McAllister with this 8-ball for the match. Brilliant from John McAllister, and he's going to shake hands with Phil Harrison. That is going to wrap up this match. John McAllister running out 13-11 winner.